How to write a persuasive speech with confidence. What is the purpose of your speech? The purpose of your speech is to take a position on an issue that is debatable and convince your audience to agree with you. First, you need to brainstorm ideas. Select a topic that interests you and that you feel strongly about. Pick a side you're going to defend. Once you have picked your topic, think about various perspectives and write down your thoughts. Once you have a list of evidence that supports your point of view, pick the 2 strongest pieces of evidence to support your argument in your speech. It is important to consider the other side of the debate as well, so pick one opposing point your opponent might argue. You must be sure to have evidence to prove that opposing point wrong. Here is an example of an argumentative claim and 2 subclaims. Plastic straws should not be banned because people with certain disabilities rely on them to consume food, medicine, and drinks. Paper straws and those made out of other biodegradable materials often fall apart quickly. Metal straws can pose a safety risk, and they are hard and inflexible. The argumentative claim is the foundation of your persuasive speech. It introduces the listener to your main argument. Your persuasive speech must include a debatable thesis. An argumentative thesis must make a claim that is logical and possible. Claims that are impossible to prove with evidence are not suitable argumentative claims. A counterclaim is an argument opposing your thesis statement. You need to address a counterclaim in your 3rd body paragraph. A counterclaim and a rebuttal paragraph, if done well, gives you a chance to respond to potential arguments before your audience is done listening to your speech. To come up with the counterclaim, think about the possible objections that people would have to your argument. So in the plastic straw argument, a counterclaim could be, if you must drink through a straw, consider using a reusable straw to reduce plastic waste. A rebuttal could be, reusable straws need to be washed, which is a difficult task for many people with disabilities. Help your audience understand why your point of view is the one that they should side with moving forward. When you consider the opposing view as well, it makes your argument stronger. Your speech should have 5 paragraphs, an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The introduction of your speech must be well written because your audience will make up their minds within a few minutes whether your speech is interesting or boring. How will you grab their attention? At the beginning of your speech, your goal is to hook your audience. You should share a thought-provoking question, a surprising fact, an interesting quote, or a fascinating story. Think of something that will introduce a topic while drawing your audience in for more. Before discussing your argument, it can be helpful to provide background information on the topic. Is there anything that would be helpful for your audience to know to better understand the argument? Toward the end of your introduction, you should share your thesis statement. A thesis statement is a clear, focused sentence that asserts your position. Your thesis statement should be arguable. It is also helpful to outline your main points in your thesis statement. That way, the audience will know what to expect in your speech so they can better follow along with your ideas. Your next task will be to write the body, which will contain the 2 main points you've come up with to argue your position. Each point will be followed by supporting evidence or stories, and each body paragraph will need to end with the transition statement that leads to the next part. In your third body paragraph, you consider the other side of the argument. Present your counterclaim and prove it wrong with your rebuttal. In your conclusion, restate your thesis and your main points. Leave the audience with something to think about. You can finish with the closing statement, or if you've given a great speech, your audience will want to know what to do next. Help them by giving them a clear call to action. In your call to action, tell your audience a role they can play or what they can do specifically to help your issue. For example, you can tell them to vote for a candidate or ask them to send an email to a representative. To summarize how to write your speech effectively, select an arguable topic that interests you and can be supported by evidence. Conduct research and make sure to check the reliability of your sources. Create an outline of your speech with an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Think about the opposing viewpoints to your argument and formulate a counterclaim and a rebuttal. In the closing paragraph, restate your thesis, summarize your main points, and finish with the closing statement or call to action. Good luck with your speech. I know you'll do great.